One of the problems that lies within the Democratic Party on the national level and on the state and local level is that so many of them are completely out of touch with what their constituents want from them. In this pod, I am going to share with you some of my own thoughts and frustrations with our Democratic Party. I will be sharing some clips from the Joy Reid podcast, where her and Wajahat Ali had a discussion with House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries. And I must tell you, in my eyes, Hakeem failed on all levels once again. My name is Kurt Mullet. I am Hoosier Blue, and I have something to say. Let's get at it. Democrats, especially leftists and progressives, are tired of spineless centrist moderates and their approach that so many of the leaders in our party have adopted, where raising money seems to be their biggest concern, where talk about doing the right thing or the continuous use of the word affordability takes priority over doing what their constituents want them to do, acting against the issues that are ripping our country apart. Affordability means nothing to us if our basic rights as citizens are stripped away and are no longer part of our lives. When rights erode, affordability becomes a distraction. Because what good is a cheaper life if you have less say in how that life is governed? Affordability means nothing when we have hired masked thugs going door to door and lurking outside of high schools, just waiting to kidnap the first black or brown person that they come in contact with. This is tyranny over liberty. Affordability means nothing when we have elected officials up and down the spectrum who are more concerned about supporting the rights of Israel than they are about their own damn people. This is what happens when foreign policy priorities overshadow the basic needs, freedoms, and dignities of the citizens that they were elected to serve. When leaders forget who they work for, democracy stops being a shared project and starts becoming a spectator sport, one where the public pays the price while others call the shots. Affordability means nothing when our constitutional protected right to free and fair elections is ripped away from us and our voice is silenced. This is fascism over democracy. We are in the middle of the largest fight in our nation's history to preserve our democracy. What we continuously see from our leaders is that they love to talk, but they do not love to listen. It is up to us to keep talking louder and louder every single day until they either start paying attention to us and start listening to us or face the consequences of being primaried, defeated, and removed from office. Those of us on the left are starving for strong leadership, leaders with backbones and courage who will stand up and fight for what all of us want. It's something we do not have at this moment. So let me move on to the podcast that Joy Reid and Wajahat Ali had with Hakeem Jeffries. This first clip, Joy talks about the creation of ICE and why she thinks that instead of defunding ICE, that Democrats push to abolish ICE completely. So take a listen to this.
When my mother became a United States citizen in 1976, took her 16 years to get her citizenship, there was no ICE. There was just the Immigration and Naturalization Service. It worked perfectly well for her. ICE only exists because of the 9/11 attacks, right? The Department of Homeland Security only exists because of the 9/11 attacks. We existed for 200 years as a country without either of them. It wouldn't the boldest possible move be to say, when that funding runs out, this entire agency shrivels up and goes away, and ICE becomes not just defunded, but it meets its demise.
Well, I think, as you pointed out, with respect to the one big ugly bill, which is a whole different battle that needs to be waged, you're talking about $191 billion slush fund that Republicans exclusively, not a single Democrat, voted for the one big ugly bill in the House and the Senate, was given to DHS, $75 billion of that going to ICE. At the same time, when they enacted the largest cut to Medicaid in American history and ripped food from the mouths of hungry children, seniors, and veterans by cutting SNAP by $186 billion, largest cut to SNAP in American history. We all opposed it. All of that needs to be addressed as we move forward. It's one of the reasons why, of course, we need to take back control of the House of Representatives and hopefully the Senate as well, so that we have the gavels to be able to address the abuse and misuse of taxpayer dollars.
So first off, he completely avoided answering the question, deflecting away from it by talking about the big bill that was passed, that all of us who are in this world of political news knows damn well what was contained in that bill and the hardships that it has inflicted or will be inflicting on the American people. But this is who Hakeem is. He is a typical centrist politician who must watch what he says because of the money that backs him. He is completely missing the point here. None of those things he spoke about matter if this regime is allowed to continue down the path it is traveling on right now. Of course, we need to take back the House and Senate, Hakeem. Has the thought entered your mind that when it comes election time, that ICE may be used as a policing force to stop people from voting? Have you thought of that? Have you ever heard of that happening under a fascist regime that is attempting to completely take over a country or a government? Have you? You can't even stop one of the most horrendous bills in American history to be passed, yet you think we are going to have a free and fair election in November. You, bud, are completely removed from reality. Moving on, let's take a listen to clip number 2.
Wouldn't it stop them if they just stopped being an agency? Just abolish ICE.
But I don't know what you're suggesting in terms of the funding fight that's in front of us now. What we're with the one big ugly, but what we're trying to achieve, for instance, I think the most significant thing that can be done amongst the whole list of things that we've talked about, right, substantively, is to ensure that when ICE agents violate the law, when they violate the law, they can be criminally investigated and prosecuted and are not shielded by this principle of absolute immunity, which is one of the things that we've put on the table. And the reason why, just so that I'm clear, my thinking, that we see these people behaving the way they are behaving. It's not just the masks. And of course, we've demanded that the masks come down. It's the fact that they think that the Department of Justice, under Pam Bondi, who's a disgrace, will never investigate them. And if the Department of Justice does investigate them, they'll never charge them or convict them criminally. And even if they are charged and convicted criminally, Donald Trump will eventually pardon them. That's the only rational explanation for why people would engage in such blatant violence.
Wow. I mean, this guy, he just does not get it. The most significant thing that can be done is to ensure that when ICE agents violate the law, they can be criminally investigated and prosecuted. Sounds great, Hakeem. Oh, wait. You explained at the end of that little clip just why, in your own words, my thinking, just what an asinine idea your thinking is, due to the fact that this regime will never allow that to happen. Prosecuting ICE agents. Are you fucking kidding me? Demand abolishing ICE or walk out of the chamber doors and shut the government down. Stop with this bullshit narrative. So I want to share this final clip with you where Wajahat Ali poses a question to Hakeem. And in true Hakeem fashion, well, just take a listen.
And, I'll put my cards on the table. I'm against fascists and MAGA and Donald Trump, and I want Democrats to win, but I want the right Democrats to win. And I remember the YouGov poll that came out after the 2024 election said the main reason why Democrats stayed at home was their displeasure with the genocide that's happening in Gaza. And what we've seen is AIPAC AIPAC now has spent $2 million attacking a moderate-leaning Democrat, Tom Malinowski, a Democrat, in the special House election in New Jersey 11th District. And we got a progressive Latina, Representative Mejia, who won, who, by the way, says abolish ICE. My question for you, if you're looking for accountability, if you're looking for change, shouldn't Democrats stop taking money from AIPAC that has spent so much money against Democrats?
Well, listen, everyone's going to have to make their individual decision. My view as it relates to Democratic incumbents, first of all, is that I will continue to stand by every single one of them. I'm proud of the fact that my average contribution amongst the millions of dollars that I've been working hard to raise for my own reelection that I use to help elect Democrats in other parts of the country is $27 per contributor.
Quick follow-up. So that means, will you stop taking money from AIPAC?
I'm going to continue to raise money in the same way that I've been raising it, where the average contribution from millions of people across the country is $27 per contributor.
So, as you heard, once again, he did not answer the question and again deflected to an off topic, bragging about his average contribution is $27. I tried to verify that statement and could not find any statistics to confirm that. So we will just have to take his word for it. In the answer that he gave, he did not address the attacks made by AIPAC on candidate Malinowski. Maybe because Hakeem has accepted over $5.3 million throughout his career from AIPAC. He also basically said that he would support blue no matter who, even though Wajahat said at the beginning that he wanted to elect the right Democrats, which is a feeling that thousands, if not millions, of left-leaning Democrats share. We do not believe in blue no matter who any longer. We believe in blue as long as they are the right candidate, the right representative, and are doing what we are asking them to do for us. Simply put, work for the people, not for the profit. This podcast reveals the core of the problem within the Democratic Party leadership. There is a huge disconnect between leadership and their constituents, and we are here to tell them they better start listening to us and doing what we are asking of them and demanding them to do. Otherwise, like I stated earlier, they will be primaried, defeated, and removed from office. I want to thank you for taking time to listen to my pod. I appreciate the support. Please, if you like what I have to say, tell your family, your friends, and your coworkers about me. Drop a comment. Leave a like. Let's start a conversation. My name is Kurt Mullet. I am Hoosier Blue, and I have something to say. I'll catch you on the flip side.